Hi, my name is Jeannie, and this is my podcast, Dreams to Reality, the 4 keys to living the life of your dreams. And I'm also an author of the same book, Dreams to Reality. If you want to buy it on Amazon, please do buy it on Amazon. I will provide the show link on the show notes below. Sorry about that. One of the things I really enjoy with the topic of goal setting and manifestation is that I literally love to read books about the subject. So I recently discovered, because I really want to make it more the concept, I really want to grasp the concept, and sometimes it's really hard to grasp it, but there's some authors and spiritual people that are really good at explaining it and simplifying it. I discussed it so many times, Michael Lozier, he's really good at it. But then I just recently discovered another author. His name is Lance Abrims. Harness your quantum spirituality and make it work for you. I think he was, if I heard it right, I was listening to his audiobook, a different one. And I think he mentioned that he was a priest, a former priest, or was a seminarian. I think it's safe to say he was a former priest, and then he just studied the matter, this subject matter, law of attraction, and he just really explains it well. And I think he quit and he just became like a spiritual person. He calls himself a quantum spiritualist or something like that. But really, his explanation of the concept of anything is possible, it's really amazing. It's very, very, very simplified, and it just makes sense because it's really hard to grasp the process of quantum physics. It's really hard to grasp it because reality is not real. No, reality is real, but there's a reality behind this reality, and that is why things are made possible. When we are aware of the inner workings of the universe, we can work with it rather than against it. So years ago, when I discovered the law of attraction through Rhonda Byrne's documentary, The Secret, it was really like an exciting subject, but I didn't realize that there was more to it than the book and the documentary. There literally is more ways to explain it, how the law of attraction works, the law of manifestation works. And that is through science, actually, quantum physics. So according to quantum physicists, everything is in a state of like subatomic particles, which I am pretty sure we are made of subatomic particles. So everything in the universe is energy. But these units of energy, quanta, or whatever unit you call it, anyway, the units of energy are in a state of flux. What it means is that nothing is fixed. So the table that you set your laptop on, or the sofa, or the couch that you're sitting on, it may actually look solid, but actually a lot of it is just space, And not only that, subatomic particles actually appear and reappear. Like if you really look at the subatomic particles using sophisticated equipment, you'll find out that we are made of stuff that appears and disappears. So, but to simplify matters, we are always in a constant, energy is in a constant state of flux. Subatomic particles are in a constant state of flux. What it means in the bigger picture is that we are in a field of possibilities. Literally, nothing is fixed until we set our mind and our focus on it. and we create it from the field of infinite possibilities into this physical reality, or this reality which we call the physical plane. But it's not as solid as you would like to think. But anyway, he is Lance Abrims. His explanation is so amazing. It's so simplified, and it's like, dude, why didn't I look at it that way? And let's go to his concept, how he explains actually the quantum mechanics, like how the universe actually works, which is everything is in a state of constant flux. We are living in a realm of infinite possibilities actually, and things don't materialize into this plane or this material plane until we solidify it with our focus and energy and the filters that we use and all of those things. Anyway, I think I should just let him explain it in his book, and do read his book. It's called Harness Your Quantum Spirituality by Lance Abrims. It has a longer title than that, but I will put it on the show notes below. But I have to read this to you guys. So, time frames of reality. So this is his chapter, and he said, is foundational to all of the other concepts explained in this book. And I am about to introduce a concept of reality that will require us to stretch and bend our current understanding and beliefs. So we already know that everything is in a state of flux. It's in a realm of possibilities, and then they materialize into this reality through our focus and attention. And here you go. So that's my explanation, but he explains it so much better. Let me begin by stating that, which you may have heard in the past, that nothing in this universe or that you experience is permanent. What I know now is that the reality we experience is not even continuous. That is to say, each moment of reality does not roll into the next. Each moment of reality is singular in its existence. Instances of reality are individual happenings, like a traditional movie film strip. What makes the movie picture seem to move on the screen is that on the actual film strip, there is a series of pictures where each picture is slightly different from the one before it, and slightly different than the one after it. As these pictures move quickly past the projection light and it casts an image on the screen, our mind interprets these passing images as a continuous single action. But what we do not notice or perceive are the black spaces or image breaks between the pictures that divide one picture from the next. It's an optical illusion. We don't perceive those black spaces in between each singular image, but we do see the brightness that comes through the image on the film strip. The black bar passing by our eyes does not register in our mind, and we enjoy the moving pictures. Hold on to your imagination, folks, because I am here to tell you that it is exactly how reality takes form and dissipates. This is the basis of the true nature of reality. Reality itself only occurs in segments at the top of the time wave, and those waves come and go with precise timing. For example, we throw a ball. The ball that leaves our hand is not taking continuous flight across the room. Although it appears to be one continuous happening, it is not. Instead, every moment of reality of that ball moving through the air is a separate and distinct happening. At every point of that ball's flight, it is a mass taking shape like a ball. Then the ball ceases to exist, and it takes shape again, and then it ceases to exist, and it takes shape again. The only difference is the perceived placement of the ball in the air. Another example would be if you're reading this book, you see the world, the entire universe, including the book in you, ceases to exist, and it manifests again, and you're looking at the word on the book, maybe the next one, then all matter ceases to exist and matter again forms, and you're looking at the book, etc. These are snapshots of reality that are occurring so quickly that they seem as though they are continuous. When we sit and listen to ourselves breathe, it sounds like it's a continuous breathe in and a continuous breathe out. Just as to hear our heartbeat, it is as if the heart just continues to beat, but it does not. Every moment of a heart existing comes and goes. Every moment of breathing is created and dissipates to nothing. There is nothingness between every moment of manifestation. The critical point here is that everything in this reality that we know, all mass and matter, sky, earth, universe, even the dimension in which all of this exists, is merely snapshots of reality. They are a string of momentary manifestations that occur so quickly that it feels and seems to be a continuous existence of life. But it is instead one moment manifestation after another. So, yeah, isn't that interesting? So basically what he's saying is that what we perceive as reality is just like snapshots. Like when you throw a ball in the air, you think that it's continuous, but actually it's like each movement is actually in itself a separate like reality. And I think the film strip was a better explanation, which is, in between the film strips, there's a black strip and then there's nothing. And that is it. Like, literally what we perceive as continuity is not actually continuous. So what he is actually saying is that at any one point, we can just change our direction, change our reality, because nothing is fixed in time. It's actually like you can change the picture. So let's say you think that movie is gonna be it's just going to end in a certain way, but actually at any one point you can actually change the ending of that movie. It doesn't have to end that way. It's not fixed, it's not predetermined, it's not predestined, unless of course you choose for it to be predestined and predetermined. And so I actually realized this because we always think that, oh, this is it. Like, I can't change my life. Everything's fixed. Nothing's ever going to happen. Like, that's not possible anymore at this point in my life. But then we see miracles happen. We see things that, it doesn't always follow. When, like in my case, I was depressed for years. Literally depressed for years. I literally had to choose that, I'm going to change the picture or the dial or the frequency or the channel that I'm watching right now, and I can choose something better. I can choose a different picture. So it's just amazing. This book is amazing, and do read it. Right now it's on Kindle. And so he actually has also the diagram of the time wave of experiences as the universal pool of persistent potential, or God soup, for short reference. So he thinks that he calls the fields of infinite possibilities, that's another name for it, he calls it the God soup. And it is the quiet space in between the moments. So he actually has like a diagram, which is, I can't really show it to you guys, but yeah, it's in the book. Get the Kindle version and as well as the Audible version. They are really good. I got both. And, you really need to read this book. It's amazing. It's amazing. So here, the God soup is the place where all potential for an unlimited number of possibilities waits for our superconsciousness, the grand architect to cast our next desire manifest reality. The power of all, the creator, God, the God soup, is waiting to respond and use our architectural instruction to create the next moment. Then the moment is gone. Then we cast in our architectural desires and another moment is created. So basically, and also I'm a Buddhist and actually practice this actually. We actually change our karma, our reality, our destiny. And that's why I chant my Buddhist mantra. Anyway, you can find out more on my YouTube. It's all there. I'll also put a link to the show notes below, and so you can take a look at it. But basically is you can change anything. Anything is possible at any given moment in time. Nothing is fixed in time. And I actually am living testament to that because, years ago, as I told you, when I was depressed, and do listen to the previous episode. It's like tuning into the frequency of something. I forgot already the title of that episode, but it's about tuning into a different frequency or something. Anyway, I because I got introduced to the law of attraction and how it works, I was able to actually change my life, because before, everything was just a possibility. I did not know how I was. One of my dreams actually was to live and work in New York, and that happened already. And that was like a dream come true, literally dream come true. And then I didn't know how it was going to happen. There was no way that it was going to happen. And actually, when I first came to America, I was going to live and work in Pennsylvania. And I was like, but I want to work and live in New York. I literally do. And then it was an impossibility. It literally was an impossibility. But then it happened, The timing had to be right. And actually... yeah, the timing actually had to be right. And that's the thing too, when you really desire for something, sometimes the timing may not be the timing that you want, so you can't pick and choose. Anyway, what happened was that my Pennsylvania license, I had to wait for years for my Pennsylvania license to be expired in order for me to not work in Pennsylvania, but instead work in New York, which was my actual real dream. And which I did not know was ever possible, because when I accepted the job, I already knew I was going to go to Pennsylvania. But the thing was, because my license expired, and the only way for me to renew it was to go back and retake the test. And then when my employer found out, like, no, don't retake the test. You have a New York license. Just go to New York and live in New York and work there. And then it happened, and I literally, for 2 years, I worked in Manhattan, and for the 3 years after that, I worked around the outskirts of Manhattan, like the neighboring cities and stuff. But I literally lived that New York dream, which was, for me, was an impossibility. And when I was depressed and like in bed depressed, like it was literally the definition of clinical depression. I was hopeless, and I'm like, how can I ever work in America, or how can I ever work in New York? It just wasn't possible. But I changed that picture, because nothing is fixed. Nothing. And if you're new to the law of attraction, you've come to the right place, actually, because I have been studying it for years, and I kid you not, I will provide the best explanation, because a lot of it is actually, it's missing. That's why if you can, grab my book, The 4 Keys, Dreams to Reality, Living the Life of Your Dreams, the 4 keys. That's why it's really important, because it's not all about being clear on what you want and clearing emotions and negativity and clearing your mindset. It's not all about subconscious reprogramming. That's just one part of it. It's also about aligned action as well. And part of aligned action is actually what we're doing right now, because we're actually learning about the principles of how reality works, that nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed, that you can change anything at any one point in time. You can just decide to change how you live your life. And that is really possible. I have lived that. I continue to live that. And I continue to practice the principles and the techniques. And basically, it's just know the principles. And this has really been a really great explanation of how reality works. Because they don't teach this in school, but although we already know that, the scientists were really bothered, because they said, so you mean to say that the subatomic particles are, in and out of reality, they're like in a state of fluctuation. So the scientists were really bothered by it, because that is the underlying mechanism. We are all made of subatomic particles. We're made of energy. and the underlying soup or underlying level to us is that we're in a state of flux. So the scientists really couldn't really get the bigger picture, we are energy and we live in an infinite field of infinite possibilities. And with our intention and our focus and our energy and focusing our attention to one thing, we can actually manifest that into reality. So it's manifestation, demanifestation, manifestation, demanifestation. And that is how the universe works. That's the underlying principle of the universe. And then I've been a Buddhist and we really practice this, but it's kind of hard to grasp, because really, we're not solid, we're not really physical, but we already know that, matter, physical is actually made of energy. Matter and energy are, the same aspects, not the same aspects, but they're, interchangeable. That's why I read a book years and years ago. I forgot the title of the book. Anyway, the scientist said that given the amount of energy that we have in our body, you can actually, with the right technology, you can turn the human body into a bomb. And if the human body explodes and turns into, energy, it's the size of the explosion would be the size of, for a single human being exploding and changing from matter to energy and changing into energy or pure form. The energy that is released is equivalent to blowing up the size of baseball field or football field. I think I forgot what he said, or he wrote. That was not a decade, I think more than a decade ago. Anyway, that's what he wrote, that we literally have so much potential energy. Our body, our cells, they have so much potential energy. If you turn us into a bomb, we can explode, and the radius is just huge. It's massive. So one single human being, that's how much energy we have. And anyway, I don't know if I made sense to you at all, because if you are a newbie and you're new into the law of attraction thing, it's really hard concept to grasp. But that's the basic explanation I can give. And if you are already studying the law of attraction, it's always good to be reminded that nothing is fixed in time, that everything is in a state of constant flux, and that we live in a field, literally. We are surrounded. We ourselves are part of the field of infinite possibilities. We are manifested form of that infinite possibility. We've happened, but we came from that, as Lance Abrims said, that God soup. Okay, and do check out that book, and I will provide the link to the show notes below for both books, my book and Lance Abrims' book. And I'm going to read it more, and I might even read a few more chapters and stuff. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Bye.